Welcome to Impact Innovators with Felicia Ford, where we dive into the strategies that empower changemaker brands to leave a lasting legacy. Think of this podcast as your audio playbook for meaningful action. What's possible when thought leaders, disruptors, and pioneers align to share their journeys? I'm Felicia Ford, your host, bringing together the brightest minds and the most groundbreaking ideas to help you drive change, navigate through the sticky stuff, and elevate your brand. Whether you're tackling funding hurdles, looking for growth strategies, or seeking the perfect balance between profit and purpose, we've got you covered. Stay tuned and be a part of a movement that's setting new benchmarks in how we think about progress, community, and doing. Let's innovate, impact, and inspire. Welcome back, friends. So you've mastered your career, built your business, and made an impact, but how much of your success is influenced by the relationships in your life? In this special episode, we're taking a step beyond the usual talk of scaling and strategies and marketing to explore a topic that reaches the core of how we build. We're talking relationships. And in this case, what does it mean to have a power partner in both business and life? And how do these things and relationships contribute to wealth creation, especially with Black wealth and building stronger communities? And I want you to meet my new friend today, Deanna Washington, the Kept Wife Strategist. Known for her unapologetic stance on women requiring provision, Deanna helps professional women embrace strategic femininity to attract the right partner, a provider, a power partner. Supported by her own power partner husband, Deanna's here to share with us her perspective on what it means to be a kept wife and how it impacts community. We're talking about the power of partnership. Whether you're single, married, I don't want you to miss this episode because in this one, we're tying love, wealth, and community all in one. Deanna.
Ooh, I should just
Oh,
have you come with me everywhere and lay that out. Love it.
see my. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor.
I'm really excited to talk about this because as I shared, we're usually talking business. We're usually talking, how change makers are making an impact in the community. We haven't yet talked on what it means to be a single
Yeah.
woman business owner or a single man business owner. And
Mhm.
you have a story. So I want you to just share with us. I'm ready to dive in. Let's go.
Okay, so my story, the 2-second version. So, how did I get here and how did I become the kept wife strategist? Well, I was previously married, and that marriage produced two children, two amazing children. However, it did not go the long haul because we were not prepared properly
Mhm.
for marriage. I don't believe we had the right motivations going into it. It was really like, we love each other,
Mhm.
right? Eye in the sky. All we need is love, right?
Mhm.
Until actual life happens. And when you have to start having conversations about where we're going to live, how we're going to raise these kids, how am I going to feel fulfilled as a woman? You feel fulfilled as a man, but we still operate as a partnership and continue to grow.
Yeah.
And that was not the situation at all.
Mhm.
And I found myself at a crossroads because I have been a relationship coach for a decade. So I was married at the time, and my focus was premarital preparation,
Oh,
right?
wow.
So I'm in a marriage that is not really working, but all of my clients are thriving.
Mm.
I mean, they're doing great. So then I'm going through, well, what is wrong with me? I know what I'm talking about because I'm helping everybody.
Right.
Then I had to look inward and say, I'm not taking my own advice in every area,
Okay.
right? I'm teaching, but I'm not necessarily living what I teach. And I strengthened my relationship with God, and that awakened a part of me that was kind of dormant. I was just existing.
Mhm.
And I wanted more out of life and a better life for my children.
Mhm.
So I decided to pack up. I was living in Virginia at the time and moved to Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
Yeah, big move. I had nothing but a car and a job.
Mm.
I didn't have a place. I lived with my mom. But it's funny what can happen for you when you have clarity of mind and you don't have distractions and you can kind of just focus and get
Focus.
things done,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So, I mean, I had a pretty good career going. I was an account manager for a real estate firm. So I was making pretty good money.
Hmm.
Um, and I just decided to do all of the things that I was teaching my clients to do. Everything I was teaching the women to focus on strategic femininity, really getting back to our original state, not being hardened, not being argumentative, not feeling the need to prove yourself all the time,
Mm.
um, or being in flow and relaxing and just trusting, right? That
Right.
what's for you is for you.
Right.
And I mean, I made a list of what I wanted in a partner.
Hmm.
It was very detailed. I put the list away, didn't think anything more about it, and just focused on becoming my best self. And he showed up 3 months later.
Wow.
Yes. So when he showed up, knight in shining armor, he saw what I was doing for myself. And he's like, wow, you really have an amazing gift. Have you thought about like doing this full time? I mean, you're good at your job and everything, but women need this. Like you
Yeah.
could really help more people. What do you think about just doing that full time? And I'm like, oh well, this pays the bills.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
guaranteed money. This
Yeah.
is, this is safe. This is
Yeah.
safe.
Safe. Mm.
Like, well, I mean, I can pay the bills. Like, you don't got to worry about that. Like, God wants you to do this. You should really focus on this. You're passionate about it. So he retired me from my job. And it's been about almost 3 years
Mm.
that I've been doing this full time.
Incredible.
And yes, it's been beautiful. So that's how I got here. And I focus on captivity,
Yes.
making other kept wives, because I think it's underrepresented in the
Hmm.
Black community.
Hmm.
I can just be very clear about that.
Yeah.
You don't hear that many Black women proudly talking about their husbands keeping them and them just being able to do nothing if they
Hmm.
want,
Hmm.
having the choice. So I decided, like, that's what I'm going to do. We have enough relationship coaches telling you how to deal with the struggle and telling you how to partner in this way. No, I want to encourage women to require provision, and I don't care how much money you have. You can be a millionaire.
Yes.
You still should have a keeper husband.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sitting here and when they see the B-roll, if they see this segment of it, I've been cheesing the whole time. Listening to you tell your story. There's so much that you just shared in your testimony um,
Ooh,
of your transformation and the mindset shift, the surrender,
yeah.
the accountability, the
Mhm.
responsibility. And I want to know, what was that like for you to process through the mindset shift of it all?
Mhm.
Because you just described two different people.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. I'm glad you pick up on that. Um, Something that's very interesting. If anyone looks me up in social media land, YouTube land, anything like that, I purposely left all of my before.
Hmm.
Purposely. I know there's a lot of people that are like, nope, just see my glory.
Yeah.
See where I am now, because I want you to buy into this,
Hmm.
right? I have an amazing life. It's really good. I know I'm blessed, right? And that's beautiful. And I do want that part to inspire women. that they can have their own version of it. I always say that it's not about you having exactly what I have, because this is the life I love.
Mm-hmm.
Your provision, your life could look different. It's
Mm-hmm.
according to what you value and what you like. But I left all of that because I want people to see I was a different woman. I
Mm.
looked, I mean, everything. I looked different. I was almost 100 pounds overweight. And I'm not saying that anything is wrong with that. I was
Mhm.
beautiful then. I loved myself then. So
Yeah.
let's be clear.
Yes.
However, I started treating myself differently. I started showing up differently. I started, and what, to your point about accountability, I had to be honest about what I allowed
Mm-hmm.
and what I chose. And I found empowerment in that instead of being victimized by it. Oh, woe is me. Oh, I'm divorced. The Scarlet D. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, instead of that, I chose to be like, I was valuable then. God loved me then. Right. But there's more for me.
Yeah.
And when I can honestly take a look at, well, that's the life I had because I allowed it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the life I had because I accepted it. That's the life I had because that's how I showed up. That's what I was attracting into my life.
Yeah.
When I changed things, everything changed.
Everything changed. Everything
Yep.
changed. And it sounds like you started with a belief first.
Yep. I absolutely did. First of all, I was brought up in church. I would not say that I am religious. I don't subscribe to any religion, but I am a believer in Christ. I consider myself a disciple of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
use the Bible as one of my guides, right, from my
Mm-hmm.
life.
Right.
And in developing that relationship with the Creator, that allowed me to really say, wait a minute, I'm reading about abundance. I'm not reading about lack.
Right.
I'm not reading about struggle. I'm not reading about sadness. I'm not reading about dishonor. I'm not reading about disrespect. I'm not reading about a man not prioritizing me and putting his family first. That's not what I'm reading. And
That's
my life is looking like the opposite.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I knew there was different. I knew there was different for me. And I just started to pray like, God, I know you don't want divorce because it does break families,
Mm-hmm.
right? It does cause trauma for
Mm-hmm.
all involved.
Mm-hmm.
The couple, the children, the community, everything. I want to be clear about that.
Mm-hmm.
However, what we miss in this conversation, and I don't know, this might be a little controversial, but I stand on it. What we don't talk about is all of these unions that should have never happened in the first place.
Mm.
And we're holding people to God doesn't like divorce, but we're not saying, yeah, but God should be involved in the
In the
beginning.
beginning. Right. 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 You know, so I'm the growth strategist, right? And this
Ooh,
and this episode is of course about you, but I was a growth coach before I became a growth strategist. And the
hmm,
pivotal moment for me was looking back on, the 10 plus years of the work that I'd done and the
yeah,
transformation that I personally went through in order to then say to other people, here are the steps. And like you
that's right.
said, this is the version for you. But you, as the kept wife strategist, you said earlier, you were teaching before you
Mhm.
became,
Yep.
right? And so
Mhm.
share with us how this transformation personally has just manifested into what your clients receive from you now.
Oh my goodness. Even in you highlighting the name, right?
Yeah.
So I went through a whole evolution with just what to call myself,
Hmm.
right? Before I was relationship coach, I was love attraction expert at one point. And now the two monikers that I use is love guide to all That means I teach things that even if you don't want to be a kept wife, even if you're a single man,
Mm-hmm.
I teach things about love that can guide all.
Mm-hmm.
But my specific women that I am called to serve, to them, I am the kept wife strategist. And like you said, it's different from being a coach. I have proven strategies to use that you can implement step by step. Do this, then this.
Right.
This is going to precede this. So yeah, that is my clients. A lot of my clients now, they've been with me for almost a year. So they have seen also me elevate and morph
Yeah.
and kind of change. And they are just like, yes,
Yes.
like every time you elevate, yes, give
Yes.
me more. So
Yes.
it's been awesome. And I know there's a lot of relationship coaches in the space, many that I respect. I have good relationships with quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't like to do a whole lot of comparison, but I do like to point out what is different about how I approach things.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I can stand on forever is that I only teach what I live. That's the biggest thing that I've learned from this. I only teach what I actually live. That's what enables me to really get deep with
Yeah.
my clients. I know the pain, I know the struggles, I know the difficulties, I know the triumph, I know the process,
Yeah.
I know the setbacks. I know all of it because I live it. And I'm very transparent with them like, hey, this doesn't mean I'm the end all be all. Like I know everything. I
Yeah.
just have learned a little bit more than you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a couple steps ahead of you. So I can reach back, grab
Mm-hmm.
your hand, and we can walk together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I love that you mentioned in the beginning how your work is not about glorifying the struggle and how when you had that epiphany of what the Bible was teaching you about abundance and what life could be like versus what is accepted. I'm going to even say what's acceptable in society. I mean, for
Yes. Yep.
so much of I'm going to say my uh experience of just looking at social media, looking at media, looking at mediated images of Black women. It's all about them, us being strong or resilient,
Oh,
and
yes.
words that
Or die. And
I don't identify with that. I don't want to be strong in that way, right? In the way resilient. That means we've gone through and will continue to accept struggle and process forward. So I love that your brand is like
Mhm.
anti-struggle, right?
Yes,
Uh,
very much so.
but then, Deanna, we look at like the professions that Black women are in, right? I was talking with the executive director or CEO of a nonprofit about a week or two ago, and she said, "Why do Black women always have to come and save the day?"
Mm. Because we get praised for it. We get praised for it. I mean, we talk a lot about like attention, the need for attention and people doing things for likes, but let's be honest here. We all want attention.
Mhm.
We all want it. And that in itself is not a bad thing. It's
Right.
not a bad thing to want attention. But attention when it comes at such a cost, where you have to take on a certain demeanor, you have to take on a certain role, you have to be self-sacrificing and different things like that. No, no, that's not okay. And you mentioned something that I talk about a lot, and it's going to sound a little funny and may even sound a little condescending, but it's okay. I don't mind. Um, the norm and what is accepted in society and what is common.
Mhm.
I call people commoners. And I tell my clients, we don't listen to commoners. What I'm teaching you, you're not going to go find everywhere. I set it up that way. I tell them off the jump. If you come over here, don't expect to get my stuff verified by 20 other people.
Right.
The life I live is not common.
Right.
It's not. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the things I do aren't common. I'm going to tell you some things that are going to go against the 20 reels that you see.
Right.
You have to be willing to say, I want what's uncommon. And
Yes.
I'm willing to look like I'm against things to have the life that everybody don't have.
Oh, oh, I'm remembering a scripture, Peter, maybe. You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a
Come on now.
chosen nation. Um, I just
Apart. Set apart.
that apart.
Set apart. That doesn't mean we have our own island. That means we're amongst the commoners. And you have to be set apart amongst them.
Right. Right. This conversation about some of the roles that Black women may have in leadership or may have in entrepreneurship, it may call on them to demonstrate those strong qualities, et
Yes.
cetera, et cetera. And this is again no shade because I'm a business owner myself,
Yes.
and
Yep.
I am not married, so single. But the struggle introduces different things into the emotional, the
Mhm.
physical health, the mental health, some of these stressors. And I want to read a quote real quick that speaks to the psychology of money and the relationships of the dynamics of wealth and relationships, right? So, financial stress can have a profound impact on relationships and, in turn, on overall business and personal success. Studies show that financial strain increases psychological distress, which can lead to relationship conflicts. And these conflicts often undermine the nurturing environment necessary for both personal and professional growth. But stable relationships, particularly those where finances are pooled, tend to exhibit higher levels of satisfaction, which can also contribute to better decision making and overall life outcomes. And that's from the Journal of Family and Economic Issues.
Mhm.
Deanna, that sounds like it was a part of like they were studying your business.
Uh-huh. And I have some thoughts about how people will hear that and still miss the real intention of it.
Yeah.
Um, it's so true. Like we'll hear all the time, oh, money isn't everything. It's not. Money doesn't equal happiness. It doesn't. But let me tell you what it does do. It provides you with a lot of options, right?
Mhm.
And the issues that are caused in marriage by financial strain, it makes every other issue difficult to handle.
Mhm.
So part of why I lead with he got to have some money is that takes it off the table.
Right.
That already sets you on better footing for a successful marriage
Mhm.
when that's not the issue. Because
Right.
guess what? Now you can have talks about the real issues.
Right.
Now you can say, I don't like how you talk to me. That's
Mhm.
not okay, honey. Now you can say, well, honey, I would like things to go like this. I would like a vacation every year. You can have different things
Right.
to focus on versus we don't have enough.
Right. Right.
So it's so important for people to, again, commoners, repeating the rhetoric. Well, money's not everything. He got to have more than that. And Black women, I gotta say it. We are mainly the ones not okay with requiring provision.
Mm.
I don't have to convince non-Black women of what I'm talking about.
Why do you
I
think
don't
that is?
Well, part of it, I don't want to be insensitive in any way. And
Mhm.
I want to be very clear. I've already said I was in a marriage. I was not a kept wife, but I have always been able to be a stay-at-home mom.
Mhm.
I have always, I mean, even when he didn't make that much money, it's just, I was a struggle stay-at-home mom.
Right.
That was the difference. But I want to be clear, like, I don't come from a rich family.
Mhm.
I was not, this was not instilled in me. So I want to be clear that it can be taught. You
Mhm.
can learn it because I did. But I do think part of our culture really lends to victimhood.
Mhm.
Oh, men are they can't, they don't have the money. It's a lot of excuses. My husband's black, by the way. Let me just put that out there. My husband's black. He's not a criminal. His money is legit. He served in the military. Okay,
Yes.
so there's no gimmicks. Let
Right.
me just put it
Right.
like that. There's no gimmicks,
Yeah.
and I always say he's not on the Forbes list. He
Mhm.
has a good career. He's made some good money, so it comes in all forms.
Mhm.
Doesn't have to be rich for you to be kept.
Mhm.
So, girl,
Their version.
yes.
Their version.
So, I mean, back to your question, why is it a little more difficult for us, Black women? I think it's pushed on us. We have to help them,
Mhm.
right? We have to help them. They don't have all of these things. They don't have the good paying jobs. They don't have, which is a lie. It's a
Right.
lie. Is it true if you look at statistics that maybe they may not make up all of the top 10%? True. Yes. However, there are lots of high earning Black men that
Right.
desire marriage because men understand that marriage is a key component to wealth creation,
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely.
right? And I need my Black women to understand how important you are to that.
Yeah.
Like, what? You are the key. A lot of these men don't have their riches the way they could because they don't have a wife.
Mhm.
My husband was a high earner before me, but we've been married almost 2 years. He has doubled his salary already.
Incredible.
Already. It's the Black wife effect. It's not just for the,
Right.
okay? Okay?
I've seen that trend. I've seen that trend. I hear
And yes, look what it does for them, but it also does that for our Black men too.
yeah. Yeah. I think a part of why I really wanted to have you on the show is because I know that there's a certain mentality with change makers. Some of them work in nonprofit spaces or
Mhm.
social entrepreneur, corporate responsibility type spaces, but that same mindset of scarcity and lack is accepted
Yep.
in that, right? Because it's like, oh, woe is me, or oh, because it's nonprofit, we can't. And I wanted people to hear from someone else who I'm not a kept wife yet. No,
Yet.
kept
I
wife,
love
not yet
that.
married, right?
Come
Uh
on now. Yes.
be,
Yes.
but that thought of, I have to accept what's thrown at me. But share with
Given
me,
to me.
right,
Mhm.
how you help shape others and their perception of self, and then how that translates into them going and growing to the next level.
A big part of the work that I do is also healing, right? Because a lot of us have been through some very traumatic experiences when it comes to love and relationships.
Mhm.
You were giving everything of yourself, right? Showing up how you thought you needed to, whether that's paying half, whether that's, putting your dreams aside to build theirs, whatever it is, you are showing up, giving it your all, and it did not work out.
Mm.
And now you're feeling like, I ain't I ain't doing that again. I'm not giving my all. I'm not, you know what? I'd rather go 50-50 now. You can't tell me what to do. I got my own money,
Mm.
right? And part of the work that I have to do with these women is be like, girl, yeah, you bad. I see you. You making that money. That's great. He should still pay though. Let me tell you why. And then I point out how he needs to pay for him.
Mm-hmm.
You are thinking that, society will tell you, oh, you're taking advantage. Oh, you're a gold digger. Oh my goodness. I love that. I feel like it's a piece of heaven when somebody calls me a gold digger. I'm like, really? Thank you. My husband says gold got to be dug, so it's okay.
Ooh. Ooh.
Cool. So I build them up. I
Mm-hmm.
build them up. I let them know like there's nothing wrong with you being accomplished. Hey, we're out here getting these degrees. We're having these businesses. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not telling you you got to put that down in
Right.
order to have this.
Right.
I'm saying that you need to learn how to compartmentalize sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you show up when you're the CEO. You present yourself this way because you're demanding respect and these different things. But when you come into this relationship, you're not his boss.
Right.
You're not in charge there. How about you let somebody else be in charge?
Or his mother. You are not his mother.
You're not his mother, right? And we have to stop complaining about what we're getting from men when that's how we set things up in the beginning. That's another part of what I really have to do with a lot of my clients is I have to teach them how to start things away because it's so much. I don't do fixing. That's the other thing. I don't want you to come to me with your broke down marriage and ask me to help you get it. I can give you some tips about how to communicate and how to get to a place where you can see if it's salvageable, but I don't want to salvage nothing. I am in the business of giving you the information in the beginning.
Yeah.
So you set it up away and you just enjoy it.
Yes. I love that. I love the clarity. I love that. I don't fix anything. We're not in this.
No, I'm not a fixer.
I love that. Your unapologetic stance just kind of flows into every area, and I sincerely appreciate that.
Thank you.
Talk to us about the strategic femininity that you impart. Right? Let's hear. What does that mean? What is that?
Uh,
How does that
I
resonate?
I began calling it strategic femininity because femininity now is like the new manifest, the new, you're seeing it everywhere. The soft life, the all of that. And
Mhm.
I'm happy that there's so much around because it means the energy of it is alive. So I love that.
Mhm.
However, when anything becomes popularized like that, it also turns a lot of people off who it could benefit. They're like, oh, she's talking that femininity stuff again. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it. And I say it's strategic because I don't teach manipulation tactics.
Right.
Be very clear about that. I'm not teaching women how to get over on men. I'm not teaching anything like that. Everything I teach is for the benefit of the union, for the benefit of marriage. Now, I'm a woman though. So do I want to help you have a slight advantage in ease? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I am doing that. But you know what's the funny thing? The men that support me don't care. They love
Right.
it. They
Right.
don't care at all. They're like, yes, tell them this stuff. We love it. Go ahead. So I teach women how to, I actually have a beginner level course that's called Find Your Feminine.
Mm.
And it's literally where I talk to them about where we lose it,
Mm.
right? We lose
Mhm.
it. And it's usually in three main places, like your childhood, your career,
Mhm.
or like circumstances, relationships you're in, the
Mhm.
patterns that way.
Mhm.
So I talk to you about that and I tell you how to go back and find out where you lost it.
Right.
Then I tell you about like what are the benefits of femininity? How do you identify and how do you create your own feminine persona? So you're not going to hear me say wear pink on Tuesdays. You're not going to hear that. Will I say, are those things considered feminine? Yes. So would
Mhm.
it be sometimes to throw on a little dress? Yeah, it would.
Right.
But I teach a more holistic approach of this is more about connecting to your divine feminine, how God made you
Mhm.
to birth things, how God made you as the center of peace,
Yeah.
how God made you to live and rest in ease and abundance and flow.
Yes.
That's what I teach.
I love the tenets of your teaching methods. And we're gonna in a couple of questions, I'm gonna ask you to describe the kept wife life. But ooh,
Yes.
before we get there, we know that, relationships really are the center of just existence, right? Like that is how we
Mhm.
do life as
Yep.
people, no matter what language we speak, no matter where we live, no matter our status of being married or single. But you opened up about being retired from your corporate career by your
Yes.
husband and that you now run love coverage full time. So, how
Mhm.
has being supported by your husband affected your approach to business?
Ooh. Oh my goodness. It's given me such a competitive advantage. Um, because I have him and he is like an active partner. So he's not just a partner in name, like, yeah, yeah, okay.
Hmm.
No, I have a coaching community. He actually shows up in it. Sometimes he comes and teaches the ladies a lesson. Sometimes he'll drop in and give them tips and respond on some of their posts. So they also like they're there for me,
Hmm.
right? But
Hmm.
they also get him and they
Yeah.
see him support me. I go live Mondays and Wednesdays. He's at work. You still see him in the comments,
Nice.
right? So
Yeah.
he's present. Um, but on the back end of it, I get to really just be the creative and stay in my feminine. And my husband is the one like, no, you're not charging that. You're charging this because it's worth more.
Yeah.
So charge this.
Hmm.
He's the one that's like, no, let's do VIP days. They want to spend time with you. I'm like, honey, is anyone going to book? He's like, yeah, it'll be sold out by Friday. He's
Yeah.
behind me like, this is what you should do, honey. And until you believe in yourself fully the way I see you, I'm going to champion this.
Mm.
So, I mean, this is what I want women to have.
Hmm.
Not my exact husband. That's my husband.
Okay.
This will work for me.
Yeah.
But whatever you want in terms of support,
Hmm.
whatever you would like in terms of romance and intimacy in a relationship. Some of my clients are like, well, I don't really like name brands. I do. I like the luxury things. I like luxury spas. You'll see some of that lifestyle stuff in some of my content.
Hmm.
I'm not saying you have to have that. Again, that's not what the definition of a kept wife is. That's part of my lifestyle.
Right.
But for some of my clients, they're like, luxury to me is, a weekend in the mountains, every quarter because I like nature. If I
Hmm.
can do that, I feel luxurious.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So it varies.
It varies. Very.
Yeah.
Okay. You've shared a little bit about your coaching community,
Mhm.
and how your power partner supports you in
Yes.
showing up with your clients, your community, and even in your business decisions. But in
Mhm.
your book, Manifesting
Love
Look
Fit for
Fit
a
for a
Queen.
Queen, yes.
Yes.
It could be a starting point for many of your clients, right?
Um, I would say, probably 70%, somewhere around that, buy my journal and they've either done it or started it before they actually start coaching with me.
Mm,
Other people just see my videos and they're kind of like, I resonate with you.
yeah,
Yes, I'm in.
yeah.
But that's actually what it's a guided journal.
Hmm.
So there is a part of it at the beginning where I describe like how to use the book,
Hmm.
how to journal, because I have a different technique.
Hmm.
It's not just here's some questions, answer it. I give you, hey, meditate like this, set your space up like this, dive deep like this. This is what's going to happen. Keep going.
Yeah.
I kind of I my husband tells me to stop saying this, but I haven't found another term yet. So honey, forgive me when you see this. I look at my journal almost like DIY coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I created it in a way that it has the embodiment of my coaching in it, but you got
Mm-hmm.
to do it yourself. I'm not
Right.
there telling you, but I've
Yeah.
given you the instructions.
Yeah. I
So it's the perfect way to start.
I love that you talked about your content, and I'm just saying, as someone who's, of course, perused your IG, and then
Yeah.
we met on Threads, engaging on Threads, and then now you're the same. She is the same person. Okay.
Thank you.
She is the same person. I love authenticity. Like, I'm an introvert. I'm very
Mhm.
intuitive. Like, I'm an observer, but I
Mhm.
appreciate that even your submission. I don't know if your assistant did that or you did it, but
Nope,
you're
I did it.
you are you. And I love the confidence that you have and the love that you have for community, for yourself,
Mhm.
for your family. And so I'd love to hear now. This is what you've all been waiting for. What exactly is a kept wife?
So, by my definition, right, a
Mhm.
kept wife is a woman that has the choice. She has the choice. So, her husband is a power partner, he is a provider, but more than anything, he's a keeper. He's a keeper, meaning he provides in all areas, not just financial. So, emotionally, mentally, physically, all of that. And this woman does not have to work. If she does, it is because it's a gift, it is a passion of hers, but she is not doing it because she needs to survive. She's totally kept. And, I am a disciple of Christ. So it also stems from being kept in Christ. That's the beginning of it, right? So before you can be kept by a husband, a man, you have to first be kept within yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate that message, Deanna, and I am excited to see your movement grow. I'm excited to see how
Ooh.
you continue to touch lives and how women are then able to transfer the best parts of this into their work lives, because
Mhm.
relationships are everything. With growth strategy, I always talk about sales and relationships, right? We don't
Yes.
buy from people we don't have relationship with, or that we don't
That's
like, no trust, right?
right.
But how we are in our personal lives definitely reflects what we
Yes, it
do
does.
in our business lives. And some people compartmentalize, but I feel like the best of us are, who we are in our public and our private
Everywhere.
spaces, right?
Yeah,
Of
absolutely believe that as well. And if I may, I would just like to
course.
encourage, because I'm sure you have a lot of very successful, powerful, influential women watching. And I want you to know that even as you are successful in your career, right, in your community, you still deserve to have a provider, keeper, husband.
Right.
You do not have to give it up. You do not have to downplay your intelligence. You do not have to apologize for your success either, because I know a lot of that is going around.
Right.
But what I will say is the benefit of working with someone like me is I can teach you how to use those skills that you have in your career, in those boardrooms, and to transfer those same skills that you have into the personal relationship space
Yeah.
so you can have the same success there.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Deanna. So tell us what is coming up for you and Love Coverage. What can we expect?
Okay, so currently, I am actively like pursuing getting my message out there. My main focus is YouTube. That's where I do my long form. And I teach on Mondays, my coaching gem. So that's for everybody, men, women, even if you don't desire the kept life, but you just want, some positivity and tips around healthy love.
Yeah.
You can come on Monday. And then on Wednesdays, I have my show, Sounds About Wife. And I'm only talking to the wives on Wednesday.
Okay.
So I'm not giving any disclaimers. I'm not nothing. It's strict wife talk. So you can join me on YouTube Mondays and Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Currently, I have the premium coaching community, and that is actually set up as more maintenance because I know that anything we learn, we really need to have a community in order to maintain it and reinforce it.
Right.
So that's what my coaching community is for. Really, what people need to do is work with me one-on-one because then I get to know you. I get to know your personal situation, your personal, I don't want to call them struggles, but areas of opportunity, right? And we get to strategize and tailor a plan specifically for you. I don't work with that many people, but that's because I have such a hands-on approach.
Yeah.
My clients get access to me from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Like I give so much because I know that you need to be immersed in this in order to make those mindset shifts.
Yeah.
So you can find me destination, like the regular word, destination, Dionna, DIONNA.com. And all my links are there. My YouTube, my Kept Wife curriculum, all my courses, everything is there.
So excited, Dionna, to again see what's to come. You all just heard how you can connect with her. I cannot wait for you to see more. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Changemaker, real quick before you go, if today's episode helped you in some way, the best way to thank me is to head over to Apple Podcasts, subscribe to the channel, and leave a review. I'd also love to connect with you over on social. You can find me at Friends Call Me Fee. Until next time, keep changing the game.